I want to know what happened with Masvidal, because I mean, I know you want to go, you know, fight Leon again. John Jones, you've had some words with. That's a bad man right there, Colby. Dana White, Joe Rogan. You said you'd smack Rogan a little bit. You got a lot going on.
That was a long
Colby
time
Covington.
Yeah.
But Masvidal, I'm so intrigued because I'm a Miami guy. I've seen that guy fighting for years. Back in the Kimbo Slice days, I'm sure you know all about that. You guys had your dust up. Poppy Steak, shout out to Groot Hospitality down there in Miami. Those are my boys down there. Obviously, everything that happened there. But what happened, bro? You guys were friends. You guys lived together. You guys roomed together. He said you slept on his couch for 8 months. I'm just using his words. You guys were sort of BFFs. He says you were his mentor. And then, you know, one of you guys chose your enemy. Speaking of choose your enemies wisely. Now he says you're a sellout. He called you a bitch. He's saying all this shit. You guys were on Stephen A. Smith. You had the sunglasses on. I'm too pretty. These girls are going to fall in love. What happened with Masvidal?
I beat him up. I gave him the 50-43 in a soda. It was the easiest fight of my career. I can't believe they paid me what they paid me to beat that backstabbing bum up. He's a backstabber. He's a guy that, you know, as soon as I started rising up in the ranks, that's when it was an issue. That's when his ego came in. He's like, no, fuck you, Colby. I'd fight my mom for money, so I'm for sure going to fight you. We're going to fight one day. And then he just started throwing me under the bus for no reason. Like, he just started talking shit in media when we weren't even scheduled to fight yet or even talking about fights. And it's so crazy because, like, we lived together for, like, you know, a couple years. You know, I lived on his wife's couch, Maritza, the woman that he has 2 kids with that he doesn't pay child support to because he's a piece of shit deadbeat dad, like I said. So that's why he got offended, because I hit the truth. And he had whatever, he could do whatever he wanted to me in that UFC octagon legally for 25 minutes. He couldn't do shit. That was the easiest fight. I didn't even break a sweat in that fight. I was laughing at the end of it. He had 2 guys holding him up. Yeah, like just completely exhausted. The guy's a bum. So yeah, he had to come outside of that steakhouse in Miami Beach, and he had to stalk me, sit in the bushes, and come and hit me in the back of the head, and then knock my tooth out because he hit me in the back of the head, concussed me. He's a world-class fighter, and you know, he couldn't beat me legally, so he had to do it illegally. And he's a cheap shot artist. How can you respect a scumbag like that? Look at his past history. He's stolen cars, arson. Like, the guy's a felon, you know? Like, there's multiple things of him saying, you know, oh, fuck Colby and the MAGA movement back in the past. But now he's, you know, best friends with the MAGA, and he thinks he's a representative of the Republicans. So people see right through him. He's a criminal. He's a slime bag. He's a backstabber. He has an ego. You know, most people in this sport, they have an ego. They can't let their egos to the side. I never had a problem with him. He just started throwing me under the bus, and he said, hey, I got to hate the people I fight. So it is what it is.
Is he at the top of your list, of your enemies list? Like, if there's one guy you're like, dude, I don't even want a paycheck for this. I'll fight for free. Who's at is he at the top of the list?
I mean, not really. I've let all, you know, feelings and emotions go with that guy. I could care less about him. I've already handled my business in the UFC. People saw in front of the world what I did to him. You know, I played with him. I was slapping him. I was saying, who's your daddy, bitch? He knows,
in the fight?
In the fight.
Straight up.
In his ear, I was whispering. He couldn't do anything. I was whispering, letting him know, hey, I'm your big brother. I'm your daddy. Who's your daddy, George? So I have nothing, you know, I'm levels above him, you know, in every sense of the word, you know, politically, spiritually, in the sports world. Like, he's retired. Why are we even talking about a guy that's not even at the top? I'm still, you know, a top contender in the UFC and future champion in this division. So now we're talking about a washed up scrub that, you know, had 2 seconds of fame. He hit lightning in a bottle, and then we're going to talk about him being a good fighter. He's not a good fighter. The guy has double-digit losses on his record. His winning record, he's like a 50% winner. He wins one fight, loses a fight, wins a fight. We're talking about him? Like, this guy's a fucking nobody. So, you know, I've let all my emotions and feelings go with that guy because I have nothing else to prove to him. You know, I've already proved that in the octagon. I exposed the piece of shit person he was. He talks about he's MAGA, but he had an Obama phone for years. Like, how do you believe in freedoms, but you're getting food stamps and an Obama phone, and you're getting all these government-assisted handouts, but then you're going to preach against it? Like, you stand for conservatism? No, that doesn't make sense. You're a hypocrite. So, you know, he got exposed, and I exposed him in front of the whole world, and I've moved on from that. It's bigger business, and I got bigger fish to fry.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.